What is mindfulness? Welcome to the mindfulness.com, where we explore the practices, the ancient wisdom and science of mindfulness and self-awareness through spiritual scriptures. Mindfulness is the practice of focusing the attention on the self through feelings and sensations in the present moment without judging it, to preserve the self-awareness in the consciousness. Mindfulness is the act of preserving our self-awareness by being aware of what we are feeling, what we are understanding, and what we are thinking in the present moment. There are numerous benefits for mindfulness, and mindfulness is a state of complete controlled self-awareness where we are connected to the higher consciousness and we are guided with intuitions from the consciousness. Mindfulness acts as a shield of protection for the self from influences of lower mind. In this state of mindfulness, there is no stress, no judging, no fear, or no anxiety. So what breaks away from being in the state of mindfulness? When we were born and when we practice and we achieve the state of mindfulness, our default state of being is being mindfully aware of what we are feeling, what we are sensing, what we are understanding, thinking in the present moment. That is the default state. That state is broken when we attach to the concepts in mind, when we start believing the processes in the mind, when we start judge something in the mind, when we start to ramify with thoughts in the mind. These activities which are isolated, only happening in the mind, creates stress, anxiety, blazing emotions and unawareness. When we do not transform the self from these ailments, we break away from the default state of our being, that is the state of mindfulness. So the mindfulness is actually an ancient practice developed by Egyptian civilization, and I am working on finding the origin of mindfulness, and I have found a lot of interesting facts about the origin of mindfulness. And my research into mindfulness started by understanding deeply about Quran. Then finally I understood Quran is nothing but a manual of practicing mindfulness to develop the control on self-awareness and to experience the presence of consciousness. So let us look into the Quran about what is mindfulness. The Arabic word wa, kaf, ya have the following meanings: to preserve, to guard, to protect. So if you look into the Arabic dictionaries, where we have quoted Handswear dictionary, you can see waw, kaf, ya is to guard, preserve, shield, protect, etc. The word ittaqu means to preserve. In the context of the Quran, it is to preserve the original state of the self-awareness, the original state of being, which in modern terms, the ittaqu or taqwa should mean being mindful And the word taqwa is the mindfulness. And the word muttaqeen is in the state of mindfulness. So let us look into some of the Quran verses which guides us to what is mindfulness. The chapter 54, verse number 54. Certainly those in the state of mindfulness will be in protection and stream. So it says in mindfulness you will have a protection for the self-awareness, and you will have a stream of flow of awareness where you will experience the flow of understandings. In the chapter 7, verse number 26, O form of union of awareness and mind, we have bestowed upon you clothing with awareness. It covers your mistakes and aiding the good condition. But the clothing of the mindfulness, that is best. That is from the indications of the consciousness, that perhaps it may be in awareness. The wrapping of the physical body and mind with self-awareness during the practice of mindfulness is what is mentioned here. The wrap of awareness around you, the aura of awareness and energy around you when you practice mindfulness is what protects you, your mind from errors. It is what protects you from wandering mind. It is what gives you the good conditions of self-awareness. Certainly, chapter number 52, verse number 17 says, certainly those in the state of mindfulness will be in protection and ease, enjoying what its controller has given it, and its controller protected it from disorder of blazing. So mindfulness is a protected state from the disorders in the emotion. So if you have emotional disorders, if you have any other anxiety or any other disorder, mindfulness actually is a therapeutic technique and practice which will give you a relief from the disorders. Chapter number 49, verse number 3. Certainly that which lower its voices before the intuition of the consciousness, those are the ones tested by the consciousness for their transformation to the mindfulness, for it is shield from errors and great reward. So those people who lower the chattering of their internal mind to listen to the intuition of the consciousness, those are the ones who are successful in transformation of the self to the mindfulness. In chapter number 45, verse number 19, certainly it will never avail you against the consciousness at all, and certainly the unawareness are guardian of one another, and the consciousness is the guardian of those in the state of mindfulness. So people who are practicing mindfulness, people who are able to bring the union of their awareness and mind, and who can bring the mindfulness, they are guarded with the consciousness. Consciousness will guide and help the people who are practicing mindfulness to have a real life. Chapter number 28, verse number 83. That the expanse of the deepest understandings we assign to that which do not desire exaltedness upon the field of mind or corruption, and the best outcome is for those in the state of mindfulness. Those in the state of mindfulness have the most efficient mind because they have the expanse of the deepest understandings. Chapter number 25, verse number 74. In that which say, our controller, grant to us from our duality and scattering firm perception, and make us for in the state of mindfulness a model. Those will be awarded the uppermost chamber of awareness, what it patiently endured, and it will be received therein with greetings and well-being, remaining in it, settling and establishing in good. Chapter number 2, verse number 180. Prescribed for you when approaches any one of you the lifelessness, if it abandons goodness, the direction for the generation and the nearness with the due fairness, a duty upon those in the state of mindfulness. When we are down and we are lifeless, we are about to be depressed, it is a duty on those who are practicing mindfulness, living in mindfulness, to generate in mind, to create in mind and maintain nearness with the due fairness. And it's a duty upon those who are in the mindfulness. Chapter number 2, verse number 197. The frequent returns to self-awareness is a manifestation well understood. Then whoever undertakes the frequent returns to self-awareness, then no indecency, no disobedience, and no disputing during the frequent returns to self-awareness. And whatever good you do, the consciousness knows it. And take enough attention as provision, but certainly the best provision is mindfulness. And be mindful of me, O possessor of the essence of understanding. So the person who is in the mindfulness is considered as the possessor of the essence of understanding about the self. So when we try to be mindful and we frequently come back to our self-awareness, when we are falling to thoughts, and when we are about to attach into some concept, when we fall, we always frequently come back to our self-awareness. This is actually what is mentioned. So this frequent return to self-awareness, when you make a frequent return, you should not be indecent, it should not have any disobedience in your mind, you should not have a dispute, the frequent return. So when you return back to your default state of mindfulness, it has to be in calmness, it has to be in security, it has to be in a complete peaceful way. So the chapter 2, verse number 2. This is the records of awareness about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those in the state of mindfulness, that which secure in the unseen and establish the connection and administer out of what we have nourished it. And who is secure in what is settled down to the self, what settled down from the previous experience, and in the deepest understanding they are sure, that are upon guidance from its controller, and those the successful ones. So this is actually teaching us about the qualities of mindfulness. So when we access the records of awareness, our own records of awareness, and we don't have any doubt, like this is what is we are aware, actually the self access of this our own awareness is a guidance for the state people who are in mindfulness. And the quality is who are actually secure in the unseen, in the future, what is going to happen. and establish the connection and administer out of what we have allowed him to understand, and who is secure in what is already understood and what is understood from the previous experience, and in the deepest understanding they are sure. They are upon guidance from its controller, and those are the successful ones. So these are the qualities of a mindful person, and this is the guidance and wisdom of mindfulness from the Quran. And I am trying to decode the spiritual wisdom of the Quran, and this is an ongoing project. So whenever I find a better understanding, I update in the website. So please visit the website to understand the wisdom of mindfulness better. Thank you for watching.